Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Pia, and welcome to the very first Tech Espresso. And this is a new moment of gathering the XR community in Belgium, hosted by XR Valley. And for the ones who aren't yet familiar with what XR Valley is, we are a nonprofit organization tying together the XR ecosystem and community in Belgium with the mission to augment its positive impact worldwide. And because you probably know, XR can have so many applications and benefits for innovation, the economy, and society. Yet there are still many, many challenges to overcome in the development and integration of this technology. And we, as XR Valley, are here to work with organizations, higher education, research, policymakers, and end users on the proper adoption of XR. And besides that, we really want to let the world know what great talent that we have here in our small country. And that brings us to the topic of today, that is this Tech Espresso, which is a new webinar format in which we want to focus on, you guessed it, new technological developments in the XR space. So the aim is to host a webinar like this every month in which we highlight new gear, software, applications, or cool experiments. And today we'll dive into the topic of generating 3D worlds with AI. And the speaker of today is Casper Jordaans. You might have heard of him. He's part of the core team of XR Valley, and he will take you through his explorations and experience with several tools for this in the next 30 minutes. So the first 30 minutes is presentation by him, and then we have 30 minutes left for questions or anything that comes up. And yeah, as you probably know, you can chat in the box beside us here. And if you have specific questions, I'll ask you to drop them in the questions tab of the chat box so we can easily find them after the presentation. And then we'll discuss them. You can just drop your questions during the whole presentation. You don't have to wait until the end of it. So yeah, that's it, practical wise. I'd say without further ado, I'm handing the mic to Casper.
Hallo. Hoort iedereen mij? Want ik kan natuurlijk niet horen of jullie mij horen. Misschien moet ik beginnen met een poll. Ja, oké, ik mag beginnen. Goed, het is een beetje raar natuurlijk. I should speak English, of course. But I don't see the audience, so I will try and do this. I wasn't prepared for this. I was like, I will say hello to the audience, and then everybody will say hello back, and then I will start. But I will do it like this. So, hello, we're going to talk about generating 3D worlds with AI in this first series of the XR Valley Tech Espressos. I'm gonna start with introducing myself. My name is Casper Jordaans. I'm an engineer and architect. So that's where I got my technical knowledge on the topics I use in my daily practice. But today I work more as an artist and a researcher. I still do engineering work. And I'm also chief experimentalist at XR Valley. This is why I'm here. I've been researching the topic of XR technology and AI technology for the past few years. So I hope I can share some of that knowledge with you today. If you want to know more about my artistic work, I invite you to go to my website, and you will have a good introduction on how this works. Good. The Tech Espresso is an experiment in itself. So I'm going to try and tell you all a bit more about some experiments I did, and I hope this will be worth your while. Of course, this is also an open invitation to let me know of any interesting technology you might have heard of, and we will look forward and backward in history to interesting technology that shaped the state of affairs as they are right now. So I hope this will be educational at several levels, not just inspirational. So when we say generating 3D worlds and then slash with AI, because that's the topic for today, I can say back in the days of the Mozilla hubs, I was already experimenting with generating 3D worlds with AI. So this is actually from during the pandemic, where we needed to find a way to gather with people, and one of these ways was creating 3D worlds. Now there were tools to do that in free and open source tools in Mozilla hubs, but it became more interesting because it was the rise of the first open generative AI tools. So what I did was basically generate graphics in 2D and put them in Mozilla hubs, and then created a 3D world with AI. So it was already a metaverse generated by AI, and we did a live concert in there, and it was loads of fun. But we're all happy that the pandemic ended and that we could go back to our normal ways of interacting with people. But it certainly was an interesting period to experiment with AI. But where did this all come from? I think the cyberspace and metaverse has always existed as a very techno-centric space where technology was always in a sort of a dystopian society that shaped how we interacted with people and how technology was used. I'm referring here to Neuromancer and Snow Crash. If you haven't read those books, please do. So I'm referring to these books not only because I think they are a must read, but also because if you go online and look a bit on the hype of the metaverse, you will certainly encounter these books. Moreover, they're even noted here in the metaverse hype cycle. I think most notably we can see Second Life here, and then the Facebook rebrand in 2021, where they called themselves Meta and then also claimed the metaverse. Although the metaverse was, of course, created in Snow Crash, and cyberpunk was a term William Gibson coined even before Neuromancer. But still, it was peak, and then we got a bit left behind. Actually, the promise of the metaverse hasn't really delivered. But there was another hype cycle that interfered with it. The AI hype cycle was suddenly interfering with the metaverse. Now, so people are calling it then spatial computing, and when you say computing and you start using AI, things start getting interesting. If you look at the hype cycle for AI, the Gartner hype cycle, so the what is it? The real branded hype cycle from last year, you can see that generative AI, which is the topic of today's talk, at least for 50%, was at the peak of inflated expectations last year. I don't think it has changed that much. I mean, we're still seeing new papers every week, new promises every week, new hyped companies, startups, money raised. It's still, the bubble is still inflating, if you ask me. But what's also interesting is that it's a very short trip towards the peak of to the plateau of productivity. So analysts believe that generative AI will soon be something that is very common to use and will be embedded in daily commercial products, consumer products that are used everywhere. If we overlay the technologies hype cycle for business, the metaverse seems missing. But I still think it's not missing. It's actually it's everywhere, because all these technologies are all computer technologies, and I think in the end all the AI technologies are just supporting, or all the computer technologies are just supporting the metaverse creation, where it's just artificial space where all these technologies will have their natural habitat, where they will live. And I mean, you cannot do metaverse without computer vision, or without automatic speech recognition, for example, or without natural language understanding, or so there's so much needed for this metaverse application that it's just not something that we will just put there. And so it's backed by a lot of money and strange people with strange hairdos and strange t-shirts with Greek letters on it. But so Mark Zuckerberg says the smart glasses will be the ultimate incarnation of AI. So what I'm trying to say here is that it is just fusing back together. So this was just last week, September 11th, where all the capitalists of Silicon Valley joined each other in talk about technology that will shape the future. But if generative AI is going to be omnipresent soon, then it must be technology that will be very usable for the metaverse. So how can we use generative AI in the metaverse? First, the most obvious thing seemed to be like you can use it to generate 3D objects. If you're a world builder today, you need assets. If you need assets, you need people to design and make assets. It's a lot of work. It's a very expensive process. And if it could be automated, it would be a huge cost saver. I'm not mentioning the cost of people losing their jobs here, but hey, we're all in this together. This is how it goes, I think. So we have to be ready for this change. And these animators and object creators, they will be creating different things. I'm pretty sure if they learn to use the generative AI tools in a good way, they will not be obsolete. But you can also use it to create bots, because not the whole population will not suddenly jump on the metaverse. So to populate this, we're probably going to see a lot of bots. If you wander around any average social network nowadays, you encounter bots en masse, meaning you will see a lot of bots in the metaverse, just like you see a lot of bots today already. But now these bots will also do more natural interaction with you, right? You will have to maybe talk to them, or just gesticulate to them. I don't know how you say that in English. I'm sorry, but you understand what I'm saying, right? When I do this, so you will communicate more than just verbally to these bots. Probably that's why they need computer vision. They need to understand your the way how you move, etc. All the sounds that come from the metaverse, the worlds that are being created, interactions, how if you create a 3D model of a house and you want the door to open, you need this interaction. If you don't want to do everything manually, this will probably be automated, and then then you probably want a bot or an AI to do this for you. Also animations like tree branches waving in the wind or whatnot. Okay. You can probably come up with a lot more. Maybe that's a good time to mention that if you have questions, but I'm sure Pia said this in the intro, but I couldn't hear it at the time because of microphone and speaker restrictions. But if you have questions, please put them in the question tab. I'll try to answer them either directly or at the end of this session. Okay. So to create 3D objects, baby steps are 2.5D. This is actually how for me I started thinking about we can probably make 3D worlds in using AI, because the depth estimation algorithms kept getting better, and then we started using this for making a video clip. I used to play in a band called the Portables, and we then used Midjourney to create images, and then did some 3D depth estimation and post-processing, and just slightly animated them like you see here to do the final video clip. So that was baby steps, like I said, and I think now things are getting much better. You can do image to 3D object on a much better way already, all using open source tools. I will do a short demo later. I'm just showing this to illustrate the principle here, right? So what you take is an image, then you do a depth estimation, either because the image was taken by an iPhone with a depth camera, so you have depth information immediately, or you use a RGBD depth image algorithm like the one I showed earlier, this one here on the left side, which will just estimate the depth from a picture. And then you with that information, you're just going to create a sparse point cloud with color information. And from that information and the picture, a self-learning transformer algorithm can create this 3D object. So if you start thinking about how you can use generative AI, I think it's important to know what kind of algorithms are available. I found this one was really interesting. It's segment anything by Meta. It can separate objects in a picture, so it can say, oh yeah, this shouldn't be here, or this is a separate object. And what's interesting is that it can do this on multiple levels, like you see on the right side here, the person, and then the vest. It can also you can attach an ID to every object in a picture. And then you can again use a different algorithm to start naming these. So you can say, yeah, it's a snail, it's a frog, it's a turtle. Because the algorithm itself doesn't know about objects, but other algorithms can recognize it. So if you start combining these, then you get, oh yeah, we have a frog here and a snail there. And then with that output, you can start chaining it again to new models. So think in generative AI, if you want to achieve anything beyond the models you find in the GitHub and in the papers, then you need to start combining them yourself. I'm just gonna show some more algorithms. This is already from 2021, but I still find it amazing. So I did, as a test, I tried to create an animation of a silly walk. And yeah, seems to work. You can then use this animation in a Mixamo or whatever rigging type of application to rig your model, and well, that's yeah. I'm not gonna show the whole video here, but it's well explained. I will of course share the slides after the talk. So then suddenly all these image to 3D model algorithms start popping up, and there's a lot of those. And I have like, I don't know, I wanted to show this one, which is try to bundle all the state-of-the-art algorithms here. And I also wanted to do a quick demo of that. Let's see. I think you should be able to see my the window here. But I also see, or so it seems, that okay, so it crashed. Yeah, it definitely crashed. Okay, so I'm not going to do this demo. I'm going to do a different demo then. I have the output here though. The output of my demo was this. So it's just a delicious burger, which is actually the textbook example they give. So here you have it again. You can see the quality here. This is just an open source algorithm from a couple of years ago. So it's already something. I don't know if you would call this usable for production in an XR world, but you can definitely generate some kind of 3D models from open source software. So in Tree Studio, like it says here, it's a unified framework for 3D content creation from text prompts or single images and few shot images. And these are all different algorithms. So the all different methods, different ways of creating, and some are better than the other. Gaussian Splatting was quite the storm when it came by, but and it's still updated. It's still so in this platform they are adding the new algorithms as they go. So if you want to try this yourself, try to install Tree Studio. They have a Docker image and everything, and this should get you going quite quickly with some generation. Okay, going back to the slides now. So I'm not going to do this demo. I'll show something else. This is something else I did. This is it should be in high quality, otherwise we will not see a lot. So what I did here is used LLMs, so large language models, to create Python code from a prompt to generate 3D geometries in Blender. It understands like operations. So you can imagine you can speak to Blender, just put Whisper, which is a speech to text model in front of it, and then you can start giving commands to Blender, like, yeah, I want the text object extruded, and then rotate it a bit, and make sure it's in the camera view, and then render it. So that's how this works. So you take a prompt, an instruction, you give it to large language model. I used a local large language model here, but you can use OpenAI GPT-4, which is really good in writing Python code. I recently did some experiments where I uploaded the whole API documentation of Blender into my local LLM. So it only uses functions of the correct Blender version, which is actually a huge improvement, because in the first iterations I did with this, it was just using like some random version of Blender, and that didn't work. Not always. I mean, that you had to correct a lot manually, and this is mostly gone now. Also in the new versions of OpenAI are way better in coding. So this is really coding. So instead of doing asset creation, you can start thinking of scene creation and do all this in code. It's of course different, because if you start from an image, then you will get something that resembles the image. If you start from text, then you leave a lot of the imagination to the large language model. But here, this is very structured. So you have to describe. You have to know Blender to use this at the moment, but I'm sure this will evolve quite quickly. But right now, you have to understand the inner workings a bit of Blender, but it's still a huge time saver to write scripts this way. Okay. So the state of the art here is moving really fast. This triple3D.ai 2.0 is here, and I just tested it, and it's incredible. So they have Discord where you can test it. So if you want to generate a 3D model today, then I would say go to this Discord page, and I said, give me a futuristic cyberpunk headset used for AR data diving, and it comes up with this. You can then refine and download the model in the end. Wait, just scroll up. Another example here was image 2 3D. Was it here? This one. This one I thought was pretty amazing. Where is it? Here, maybe. Okay, not this one. Okay, I'm not finding the right tab here. Sorry. No. View. Yes. Sorry. Just had to click the button, of course. But here you can see this. The quality of the model is incredibly. It's so much better than what we've been seeing with the previous state of the art. All these models that are open source. So this is a commercial product. I think this is the most state of the art commercial product at the moment. I might be wrong, because there's so much happening every day, but this is like really new, and I tested it. It works. So if you want to create your own product, you should start from these state-of-the-art algorithms, which you can then find in the Tree Studio repo. If you want to just create some assets from an image, then have a look at Tripo 3D. Another thing we did at XR Valley as an experiment was create audio for a whole 3D scene. So what we actually did, we worked together with the pack for this. They have this product called Sync, where they want to which is a part of the XR Hub project. We were developing software in there with them. And so what I do here is I pull all the objects that are in the Sync project in this Python program, and then all the metadata that is in the project about the tree and the rock and the rock is not really making sounds, but so it has acoustic environment control values and has a description, and then it will use all the metadata that is in the project repository to generate a prompt that will be sent to audio LDM, which is latent diffusion model for audio generation. So it augments this prompt. So it from the metadata, a tree on a hilltop standing tall in the wind, it makes the sound of a tree rustling, blah, 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 blah. And this is exactly the kind of language the audio LDM needs. And so all the sounds are added to the whole project automatically. I don't know if I press play in this video. I think so. Yes, I do. In the end, you could hear it, but I don't know if that was clear in the video. Anyway, so for audio, you can also already use AI for creating 3D world assets. Good. So one last thing I wanted to say is, so I've been like listing algorithms here, but what's happening right now is all these multimodal models, and like this is pretty new, 3 days old. But so one preview is a new OpenAI model. It's very good in code generation, and you can just like say what kind of world you want, and it will generate. Okay, this doesn't look anywhere fantastic, but it did create all the interaction code, all the assets, the this, that. So it understands what developers want when they are trying to create a world. So it understands dynamics, it understands objects, it understands, and it, you see that the how much code this is. I mean, this is a lot of code, and it generates all this just by saying it. So I think that is definitely something to be on the lookout for. So these multimodal models. This is also a bit of the secret sauce that the commercial companies are hiding, of course. So all the foundational models are open, or at least models are available for each kind of modality. But when you glue all this together in an application, then it becomes interesting. This is also one of the reasons I believe that Meta is open sourcing all their, top tier models. They say it's not the competitive advantage. The competitive advantage is the next step, is gluing these together in applications. So that's good news in a way that you don't need these massive amounts of computing power to glue together some models. You only need these massive amounts of data and computing power to create these new foundational models. Another commercial vision I wanted to share was this this one from Roblox, where they just say create a racetrack. I mean, this is not reality yet, but this is, of course, how it's the same kind of movie they use to launch the video models by Runway ML like last year or 2 years ago. It's like this seems to be the holy grail. Like, just type something and magically it happens. So what they are focusing on is not just this, but also to make all this interactive. So you create a scenery, you add objects on this, so you can create a complete game from just text and just imagining it. So Roblox want to lower the barrier to create interactive experiences where you can gather people. So again, for them, the model is not the most important technology. It's more how they glue it together and create these new applications from it. Okay, there's also a lot of fake tools out there. I wanted to include this in the slides. September 13th, they had fantastic demo. So it's 6 days ago. And today, if you try and find Gamogen, you will find nothing. It's an empty GitHub page, so they removed all the code. It's quite funny to see, but yeah, so it was completely fake. It looked very promising, and I thought, I won't have to do a talk next week because everything that everyone's dreaming of already exists. But you know what they say, if it's too good to be true, it's not true. So, but especially in AI at the moment, be careful what you download, be careful what you use, because it's not always true. So this brings me to the conclusion for today. This is like, please, let's experiment together. Become an XR Valley member and contribute some ideas. Let me know what you want to experiment with. I do a lot of research on this technology, and I'm always eager to work together with people on this. So yeah, if there are questions, I would like to hear them. Now is it time for it? We have like almost 20 minutes left in the talk, so we have plenty of time for some direct questions. There's just one problem. I can see the questions if you type them, but I cannot like. Okay, I see here a question. What about image-to-image pipelines? GenAI cannot directly process images. So Secon asks, as far as I know, generative AI currently cannot directly process images, meaning that it cannot edit a given image, but it can always regenerate a new one. Well, you're right. Directly editing is not possible, but you can mask certain parts of an image. And you can do like pix to pix for, I don't know if I can, yeah, I will have to do this here. For example, pix to pix is an algorithm that takes an image as an input and gives an image as an output, and you describe what you want to change in this image. So I don't know if this is what you try to achieve, but this works pretty well in several Stable Diffusion frameworks. You can use in Automatic 111 or in Comfy UI. You can. This is a model specifically created to do this, but if you just use masking, then you can do really fine-grained editing. Yeah, like Wim is also mentioning. But if you want to know more about this, I suggest you just do the Google exactly this image to image stable diffusion. I don't know if you then you find some open tools that can do this. If you're on a Mac, the most easy way to start with this is Draw Things. If you're on a PC, I would recommend Swarm UI or something similar. So Draw Things AI. This is the easiest way to get started. If you're on a Mac, you can just download it from the App Store, and then oops, Swarm UI. If you're not on a Mac, you can use this on a Mac too, but it's a bit more difficult to install. Okay. More questions? I see your questions. Do you know of any algorithm that can create 3D scene with animations in it based on video? So the creation of 3D scenes based on video can be done using NeRF tools or Gaussian splatting. NeRF, but it will allow you to change the camera viewpoint, but the exports to 3D models are not so good. So NeRF, yeah, where this is the original paper and instant NeRF guide. I tried this. This works really well, but it works mostly for changing the viewpoint. So you generate a novel viewpoint. There are, they will probably show this here. You can see, so it's just new camera views, right? There are some, but it's a static image also. So, but it's like you can fly around like using a drone in the new view. But so if you want to learn more about that, I think that is the way to go. But if you really want to create 3D scenes, then I would go back here, as some of these models, like the HiFi model, also supports creating 3D scenes. So you should give that a go then. And then you have really 3D models that you can import and edit and texture and whatnot. All right. So the next question here, Wim, any good experience with 2.5 image plates in a 3D environment? Okay. Wim, you're gonna have to explain this a bit to me. What do you mean with 2.5 image plates? 2.5 image plates. Yes, so and then put, for some reason I cannot see the full question, so I can only read half of it. When you create a flat, just type something below it and it will move up. So I can, the web interface is when you create a flat image with AI and then put that in a 3D environment, like the one I showed in the, let's see, like this one I showed here. Is that what you're talking about? So this is basically a 2D images that are extruded into 3D. But that's the very old algorithm. So what you get is a very limited way of changing the camera without problems. But it works for certain graphic effects, let's say. So that's the best experience I have with this. I definitely did more experiments, but they tend to be in a scale that is very bad. So say the proportions are not good. So if you scan or if you take a picture of a table, it will be 3 centimeters wide and 5 meters long, something like that. But then when you view it from a certain angle, the proportions look right. But as soon as you move, you get this huge object. So that's a limitation of the technology. But I'm sure this will all get better soon. Like I showed in this. The one yeah, okay, I have it in the slides also, of course. Like this one, the tripo3d.ai, it's really good. It creates from AI generated image, it creates a 3D model. So yeah. All right. If there are no more questions, maybe Pia can conclude then.
Yes. Hi. Sorry, there's a bit of lag on the system, I feel. I saw that Wim added some other questions. I'm not sure if you saw them, or if they have been answered entirely.
But then please put a question in the chat. Then no, I see you said what's your favorite tool for this purpose? Right now I'm using custom tools and Comfy UI as one of the main experimental tools, because it allows very quick experimenting, connecting with nodes, and yeah, that's my main go-to now.
Cool. Okay. Thank you so much. I think, Wim, if you want to delve deeper into this with Casper, you can hit him up personally. And if there's no more questions for now, I'd like to conclude today's session. Thank you so much for joining us today on the first Tech Espresso, and for trusting us with it. Like Casper said, it was an experiment in itself. And if you want to dive further into any question, or have like a project that involves this technology, or you want to talk about or even collaborate on, you are more than welcome to drop us a message. We would love to hear about it, of course. The next Espresso in this format will probably be October 15th, so you can mark your calendars already for that. You will also receive an email for this specific webinar to request for some feedback, because we would love to hear it. Of course, if you have anything to share with us. And for the rest, I think for now, do keep in touch with us. We are on social media. You can find us on LinkedIn and X. We also have a Discord and a GitHub and a mailing list. I'm just going to drop the links in the chat. I'm not sure if it works, if you can click it. Yeah, I think so. The message is just connect with us. We would love to. You can find all the links also on our website.
I also dropped a link to the slides in there, so you can check them out if you want.
And thanks again. And sorry. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Super. Okay, thanks again, and enjoy your evening. See you next time.